Welcome, welcome. Guys, I have fantastic news. The infant update is finally here. After all this time of waiting and seeing all of these teasers and all of these trailers, we finally have it. I was sitting in front of my EA app all day just pressing refresh until the update was ready to download, which took a while because the EA app decided to have a meltdown and all the servers were off for hours. That was so frustrating, but it's here and I finally got to build with it and I am so excited to show you. So to celebrate, I decided to build a quote-unquote perfect family house. I had in mind a young family with 4 kids and one for each of the young life stages that we have now. So a child, a toddler, an infant, and a baby, which sounds like my personal hell, but considering the update that we just got, it was so fun to play with. Now, I just built a base game house for the last video, so I didn't want to only use base game again. So I thought of which packs I found essential for a perfect family house, and I decided to go with cats and dogs because in my head, whenever I hear of a perfect family, like the picture perfect family, I always imagine them having a dog. Seasons, mainly because it had the swing set and the toddler pool, and I thought it was pretty important for the kids' gameplay aspect to have those. High school years, because although this hypothetical family does not have any teens yet, I do find that high school years adds a lot for family gameplay by really adding some realism and some more things to do for teenagers. So I included that one. I also included kids' room stuff because, well, it's in the name, it's stuff for kids' rooms. I included parenthood because, again, it's an obvious choice when it comes to family-oriented gameplay. And finally, laundry day stuff, because I have yet to meet a family with that many young children that aren't drowning in piles of laundry. So I thought it was appropriate to add this one. I will make sure to highlight which items are from the update so you don't get confused with the pack items, but I still decided to limit packs so it wasn't too confusing. Now, obviously, I am not part of the EA Creator Network. I literally have 30 subscribers, which although I am insanely thankful for each and every single one of you guys, that does mean that absolutely no one on the Sims team knows me. So I did not get access to this update early. If anything, just like I think everyone else, I got access to it late because the EA app wasn't working. I'm trying to get over it. It's fine. Now with that, it's also obvious that I didn't have time to download the update, build this entire thing, record a voiceover, edit it all in just a couple of hours. So I'll be honest, I did build most of this house before the update came out, and I just left the kids' rooms blank. You can see me struggle with the floor plan. I needed to squeeze 5 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms into this small house, so it wasn't super easy. Could have been a bit less tight without the downstairs bathroom, but for a perfect family house, I don't think 6 Sims can share 2 toilets. I think that kind of defeats the purpose. I like how small the rooms are actually because it makes it easier to clutter them and to make them look a bit more lived in, which was the point of this build. I really wanted it to feel like a family with young children was living there. Now, the bathrooms might look tight, but I did make sure to play test things. From my TikTok comments, I think I'm starting to realize that people think that The Sims are a bit dumber than they actually are. The Sims 4 Sims are a lot smarter than in previous games. Now, don't get me wrong, they still do ridiculous things that make absolutely no sense. But for routing purposes, they're usually actually pretty good. And also, I just want to say it, I do make sure to playtest all of my builds. So if you're seeing my stuff and you're wondering, does this even work? The answer 99.9% of the time will be yes. I do take the time to playtest everything and to tweak things when they aren't working. I really wanted this house to look lived in and cluttered, starting with the entrance. So I added a little side table, which looks like a catch-all for a bunch of stuff. Whenever people walk in, they can just put it there. And then the kitchen is very tight. But again, I did play test it. The table might be a bit annoying at times if all 6 Sims are trying to sit at once. But it is still functional. You'll see me playtest it in a couple seconds. I also made sure to add dog bowls and a dog toy box outside. Apparently the Sims team made it so that infants can interact with cats and dogs, and I am so excited to see that. I know it's just gonna melt my heart. It's gonna be so cute. I cluttered up the kitchen whilst making sure it was still functional. By the way, if you keep seeing my test sim and wondering what that is, it's the gnome outfit from Seasons, I think. I am terrible at making sims, so whenever I was making a sim to test all of my houses, I just put this costume on them. To make them my official home tester. I think I even named them home tester, like home first name, tester last name. I really want to get better at create a sim, but all of my sims end up looking the exact same. If you guys would be interested in seeing me attempt cast challenges and videos to, maybe get some practice in, let me know. And who knows, I might conquer my fear of create a sim one day. Now in the living room, I made sure to make it look very kid-friendly with clutter and toys and even a toddler chair, some crafts on the wall. I'm really enjoying how this is turning out. I feel like it really gives out the vibes that I had envisioned of like a young family with a bunch of kids running around everywhere. Now for the parents' room, I'll give you a couple seconds to guess which color I decided to go with for the walls. Yep, it's green. I swear, I don't do it on purpose. I really can't help myself. You know how there's the solid color challenge that exists for Sims? I should do just a no green challenge, like the opposite of that. Just I'm allowed to use every single color except for green. I'm sure I would struggle with that so much. Overall, I like how the parents' room turned out, but let's be honest, like that was not the main part of this video. I was very excited to move upstairs to the kids' room, but I didn't have the update yet by that point, so I decided to just do a little attic instead, with a couple things to make it look like a storage space that was used. I did try to put a ladder, but it didn't work, so it's really just for pretend, but still, I like to put something up there so it's not just empty. Now we can finally move on to the part that we've all been waiting for, which is the kids' rooms. So this rug is one of the new items we just got in the update. I decided to go for this space swatch because I knew that kids' room stuff had a lot of space-themed kids things that I could use. I also put, I think, a telescope outside, and now obviously I'm imagining that this kid is the one who uses that telescope because they really like space. This is the child, so it is the oldest kid there. This little toy basket in the corner is also from the update. I really like it. It's so cute. I absolutely love that we got new rugs because, like I mentioned in my last video, I often base rooms on rugs. So the fact that we have new ones for kids' rooms is really helpful because it gives me kind of new color schemes and new like theme ideas to base rooms off of. I'm so glad that they included rugs in this update. I think it could have been easily overlooked, but I'm so glad we have them. Now, this next room is the nursery. It's the smallest room. I figured, if it's just for a bassinet baby, there's not much that you need. There's not actually any gameplay that features them really. Then this room is the infant room. So I used this orange crib, and I actually got my tester sim to come in and upgrade it to have like a mobile on top of it. So it doesn't come with it right out of the build buy menu, but if you upgrade it, you don't need upgrade parts for it or anything. You just need I think it's like 100 or 50 simoleons, and then you can just upgrade it to add a mobile. And I thought that was cute. All of this little clutter there is from the update, and this little bookshelf on the wall is also from the update. And finally, the toddler room. I love this swatch of this bigger rug with the two little rainbows. I split the room into two sections, like a more room section with the bed and a dresser and that kind of thing, and then kind of a play area. And then I used these cute little butterfly lights from, I think it's Parenthood, to create something on the wall. I really like how it ended up turning out. I am so happy with this update as far as build buy goes. There is an expansion pack coming in 2 days, which I'm very excited about. I already have a build plan for this, but I need to wait until I actually have the pack before I can build. I did pre-order the pack. I should be able to download Growing Together on Thursday, I think, when it comes out, and then build something then, and hopefully post it by Saturday, I'm hoping. So if you'd be interested to see what I do with the new pack, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed and turned on notifications so you don't miss it. All right, now we can move on to the tour. So when you first walk in through the door, there's this little entrance with this catch-all table, like I mentioned. And then there's this door here that takes you to the parents' bedroom. The green parents' bedroom again. I have a problem. And then over here through the archway is the living room. I really like how this one turned out with all the clutter. It really looks lived in. I really like it. So this is the room. And then here's this little hallway with the washer dryer on one side, and then the bathroom on the other. And then through here is the kitchen and dining room, which is very tight, but like I said, I did play test it, so it should work fine. And then here is a door to the backyard. I put a little sand pit, the swing set, the toddler pool. I really made it kid-centric compared to my last build, which I completely had forgotten about kids in that one. And then when you go upstairs, the first room here is the little nursery. Oh, it's so cute. That rug is adorable. All of these little clutter items, I love it. Then here's the infant room, which I can't believe it's here. These new rugs, all of this stuff. I like this wallpaper. I always have for kids' rooms. It's so cute. And then here is the kids' room, the space themed kids' room. By the way, if you're wondering, you can walk through those fairy lights on the door, no problem. I play tested it. And then here's the toddler bedroom. I really like the color scheme in there with the little butterflies. Thank you so much for everyone who's watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and this build, and I hope all of you are having a wonderful time playing with the new infant update tonight. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.